Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Maths Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. Like I promised in the last video, I'm going to make sure I take each of the laws in each of the video so that it'll be easy to understand. So please review the previous video where I listed all the laws so that it will be easy for you to understand. All right, so now in this video, to jump right straight into it, I'm going to talk about the product rule or the product law. And just to remind us, I told you that the square root of A times square root of B is equal to square root of what? AB, all right? So an example now for this could be square root of 3 times square root of 5 will be equal to square root of 3 times 5, and that will give you square root of what? 15. Is that okay? Or let's say we have square root of 7 times square root of 2 will give you square root of 7 times 2, and that will give you square root of what? 14. So that is the first one I talked about. Now, the second one I talked about under there, I also told you that when square root of A multiplied by square root of A, the answer is going to be what? A. So that means if you have square root of 3 multiplied by square root of 3, the answer will be what? 3, okay? Now, or if you have square root of 2 multiplied by square root of 2, the answer will give you 2. Is that okay? Now, that was the second one I talked about. So when you have surds, you just multiply them inside, but when you have the same surds, it will give you what? The integer itself. Now, the next one I talked about was when I said A multiplied by root B. So that means an integer multiplying a surd is going to give you A root B. So for example, if we have, let's give an example. Let's say we have 5 multiplied by root 2. This will give you what? 5 root 2. If you have 7 multiplied by root 3, that will give you what? 7 root 3. Okay? And also, I talked about other concept as well. I said, if I remember correctly, I said if A root B multiplied by C root D, okay? So we have a mixed sort multiplying themselves. So what I said, you multiply the outside ones, it's going to be A times C multiplied by what? B times D. Is that making sense? So that will now give us AC root BD. So for example, let's say we have 3 root 5 multiplied by 2 root 7. All right? So it's going to give us 3 times 2 multiplied by 5 times 7. So that will give you 3 times 2 is 6. Root 5 times 7 is what? 35. Okay? So we can pick any other one. Let's say we have root 5 multiplied by 3 root 2. Okay? So remember, I told you in the previous video that when you see something like root 5, it's similar to saying like 1 root 5. So technically, there's a 1 in front of here. It's invincible, okay? Put it that way to make it easier for you to understand. So in this case now, it's going to be 1 times 3 root 5 times what? 2. And this is going to give us 3 root 10. Okay? Now that is that for that. The other one I talked about A multiplied by B plus C root D. So that means we're having an integer multiplying a compound surd. Is that okay? And I told you that it follows the laws of indices. It's going to be, this is going to multiply this. So from when I explained A, B plus C, I told you that is A times B will give you AB, and A times plus C will give you what? Plus AC. The same thing, so it's going to be A times B will give you AB, and A times C root D, which is similar to what we've talked about, okay? Then it's going to be A C root D. Is that okay? It's going to give you AC root D. So let's say we have 3 multiplied by 5 plus 4 roots 5. Okay? So it's going to give us 3 times 5 will give you 15 plus 3 times 4 will give us 12 root 5. Okay? The same thing if it was a negative number. I told you A, B plus, minus now if it's negative. So assuming it's the same thing, but this time we have a negative number. Okay? It's going to give us the same thing. A, B, but this time it's going to be what? Minus AC root what? D. So if you have 3 multiplied by 5 minus 4 root 5, it's going to give us 3 times 5 will be 15 minus 3 times minus 4 will be minus 12 root what? 5. Can you see? Now that is the concept there. So that is how you do that. And I just want to show another one just to throw it in the mix. So if you have, let's say, A multiplied by B root C, and that will give us AB, okay? Root C, the A will multiply the B. So if you have 3 multiplied by 5 root 4, it will be 3 times 5 will give us 15 root 4. Let's say we have minus 3 multiplied by 5 root 4. Minus 3 times 5 will give us minus 15 root what? 4. And so on and so forth. Okay? And these are the rules of what? Product rule. So the first one is when you're multiplying, you multiply the ones in the surds. But if they're the same, it's going to give us the first one. And when you're multiplying, it will give you that as well. Okay? And the same thing here as well. All right, so that is that for the product rule. I'll see you in the next video where I'll talk about the quotient rule or the division rule of surds. All right, if you've not liked or subscribed, please do so that when I post a new video, please click the notification bell so that you can get a new video when I upload one. So I'm going to see you in the next video where we talk about division rule. And we'll see how do we divide what? Surds. Okay? See you soon.